Are you constantly exhausted, depressed, anxious? Do you want this to change? Well, pull up a chair and let me explain. Your brain is very powerful and it requires a lot of energy to keep it going. Now, the evolutionary solution to this is to have created a system that powers down when it is not needed, consuming just enough resources and controlling just enough of the system, or your body as it were, to survive, find food and complete whatever task it is you are undertaking. Ever since we were just an organised group of cells, our core directive has been to survive. The first and overriding command is to not become an energy source. And the second, and arguably just as important, is to find energy or food to keep the lights on. If you get eaten, you have no need for food. But if you do not expend energy, then you also have no need for food. Obviously, as we evolved to become ever more complex, we started needing other things, such as shelter from the elements and good Wi-Fi. But not dying. Well, that's pretty primal. And it's so hardwired into us because, well, anything that evolved to not take self-preservation seriously, well, they got eaten. Or they fell off a cliff using a phone and, well, they did not get to pass their genetic variations on to the next generation. So what happens then? Well, let us picture a scenario. You're sat round a campfire, minding your own business, when from the tree line you see a wolf pack emerge. That moment of realisation causes two signals to be sent. One is a panic station signal that is sent straight to the fear centre of your amygdala. The other is a "what is this?" query signal sent to the main pattern recognition and decision making areas of your brain. Obviously, the "what is this?" query takes longer. It is unavoidable. So you always get the trigger for arousal before you get the command to act, even if the act command is just to step down and relax, as it's actually just a pack of tame dogs on a walk, and all that's demanded of you is to offer up a bit of fuss and play. Anyway, this arousal system is what gets you ready for whatever may come next as quickly as possible, whether it is fight or flight. Your pulse rate and reaction speed increases, as does your breathing and glucose uptake. And the attention systems in the brain stop all unnecessary monitoring to focus all systems on the new threat. This all happens automatically within a split second of the first photon hitting your retina or the sound entering your ear, without you even being conscious of anything. It is an incredible piece of evolution. The thing is, you see, social media, phones and many of our modern essentials stimulate the body in the same way. They all want your time and your attention, so you can be served ads or provide them with data. Every time it makes a noise or flashes a light, it is triggering this system. Every time you stop something to check a feed, you are triggering this system. And this is pretty much akin to someone using drugs, with a whole load of chemicals just dumped into your body. For instance, when you are stimulated, it is norepinephrine that is released, a stress hormone and neurotransmitter that increases alertness and arousal and speeds up your reaction time. It triggers your heart rate to increase and the release of glucose into your blood to fuel this demand. And it increases blood flow to the muscles so the body is ready for whatever comes next. But never mind, stand down. It was a false alarm. Just a picture of a cat or someone's lunch, a like, a dislike, 2 comments and a few advertisements. Nothing of consequence. Go back to what you were doing. However, your working memory has now been cleared, ready for what comes next, and your system has been aroused. So now you go back to what you were working on, but you have forgotten your train of thought and where you had got to. You also have stimulants in your system. You not only find it harder to settle and concentrate as you are primed for fight or flight, but as that slowly leaves the system, you get a nagging sensation that something is missing and a desire to address that decline. You are creating a dependency. With a constant drip feeding of chemicals into your system, you are teaching yourself, through repetition and reward, that a short attention span is desired. So that becomes the normal situation. Much as a smoker needs to feed their addiction, The work routine is broken up by constant tiny interventions that do nothing but disrupt the train of thought and slow the progress. The other side effect is increasing lethargy and decreasing creativity. Just as the regular coffee drinker will hardly feel the effect of the third drink in a day, constant micro-stimulations can increase the tolerance level. And this can leave little time when the body is resting and not stimulated. This might not seem much of an issue, but day after day and week after week, it will take its toll. Your average reaction is dulled and the ability to stimulate when it is really needed is reduced, even when the system is running at what should be normal. This is nothing new. We see it in alcohol and all other drugs in society all the time. But what can you do? It is true that we do need breaks mentally and physically. Indeed, every 45 to 60 minutes is ideal for the average person, but there is a balance to be had, otherwise the progress will be inevitably slow. I think we all know what the quickest solution to this is. Put your phone in flight mode, or turn off notifications, or put it out of sight in a drawer. You will survive, and when you look next on a proper break, you will have a whole bunch of notifications to enjoy much more fully. There is also a very easy way to bring some balance back to an unbalanced life. It is called the 20-5-3 rule. The 20 stands for 20 minutes. Try and get out into nature, walking in a park or along a river, for 20 minutes 3 times a week. Studies have shown boosts for cognition and memory, as well as improved feelings of well-being. Levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, are also reduced. It is best described as you entering a mindfulness type state without any need for meditation. This can help stimulate creativity, improve information processing and task execution, but this is not the case for those who constantly interacted with their phones in these instances. So leave the phone behind or at least put it on silent and ignore it for the time being. The 5 is how many hours a month in nature you should be aiming for. A 2005 survey conducted in Finland found that city dwellers felt better with at least 5 hours of nature a month, with benefits increasing at higher exposures. They were also more likely to be happier and less stressed in their everyday lives. And the 3 is the number of days you should spend each year actually off the grid, in nature, camping or renting a cabin maybe. Studies have shown this can help you to reset your thinking, boosting your creativity, bringing you back from burnout and just generally making you feel better. Indeed, in the following weeks it was also reported that relationships, happiness and general satisfaction with lives all improved as well. And we all know the benefits of having an animal companion. And with dogs to have to walk every single day, you know what a great way to start could be. Go to your local shelter and pick up a dog. Then you have no excuses but to get out more. But be sure you can afford the time and money to make their lives as good as they make yours. So, are you going to make any changes? Let us know below, and don't forget to hit like and to subscribe if you have not already. Then why not check out one of these great videos next? Thank you for dropping by.